Jason Aldean in the studio with us. What's up, man?
What's up, guys?
I always love when you come without a shirt on. That's my favorite. I just love that. I was like, here's the guy who's confident.
Yeah, I'm not that confident. Trust me.
I'll tell you what he did show up without people. Jason just pulled up in his truck. There's no entourage, no record label manager.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So, Patrick, I'm a one-man show.
I
You
know.
what
I
mean?
like that.
And by the way, I don't mean any disrespect to the entourages, if I can even say the word, because they're fun too. But it's just nice whenever somebody just drops in and
I dropped in early.
I don't know if you guys.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, you're not just on time, you're early.
Am I early?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
This was
Well, that's great because I got in a lot of traffic coming into town today. So.
Now, just remember, though, if you're on time, you're late.
Oh, stop.
Okay, Bubba.
Who do you think showed up? Who do you think showed up with the biggest entourage?
In country music?
No, it's not a country music person. It's just that we've. I
I
don't know
don't
if you
even
guys
know
know.
now.
Oh,
Who
I
do you
do.
guys think
I
showed
totally
up with
know.
the biggest entourage?
I'm going to go Cyndi Lauper.
It was Cyndi Lauper.
Cyndi Lauper
She
had like
11 people. 11 people with her.
What do 11 people
Okay, so it was
do?
a record label, manager, publicist. There was her personal assistant. There was her hair person, her
It
makeup
looked like
person.
it
some
was-
other people I don't know who did, and
She
two
was
drivers.
aware that she was on radio.
I
right?
know. It was crazy.
But she rolled up in like it was like 7 big black SUVs. You thought it was like
Yeah, and each one of those had a
government
driver.
official was showing up.
It was so.
Yeah,
I was
don't-
like, wow, that is by far the most people that have
So
ever
actually,
shown up for an
I
event.
don't think I have that many people that work for me.
It was 11, but you also the 3 drivers
No,
who
I'm counting
waited
the 3
outside.
drivers as
Oh,
the
okay.
part of the 11. But yeah,
Okay.
They can.
So it was only 8.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about the pressure of all the people? Well, I guess you do because during the pandemic, you got all that stuff. But yeah, there are so many people that depend on what I would call Jason Aldean Inc. There's so many people that rely on you to help make their lives go.
Yeah, I mean that is true, and I don't think any time like the quarantine made you understand that more. So it was tough, man. And I think that was a time where I knew obviously we have a lot of people in our crew, and between my band, my crew, my bus drivers, my everybody that just kind of makes the wheels turn for us, and so when the quarantine happened, everything shut down and we couldn't work. All these guys are not able to work. And so most of them have been with me for, 15, 16, 17 years. And, it's, you got to take care of those guys. So it was, but I definitely realized how many people kind of depend on us and what we do for a living to kind of, it's almost like a trickle-down effect to everybody else.
Yeah, because it's not just them. It's them and their families, their fiancés, their wives, their kids, you name it, husbands. I mean, there's a lot of people involved.
Yeah,
it's
for
crazy.
sure.
If I was working for you, I'd be like, hey, we've got another hit coming quick, right?
Yeah, but we're not. Yeah, but we're not going to tour for another year and a half to 2 years.
Jason Aldean, by the way, the second half of the double album, Macon, Georgia, coming out April 22nd. Georgia is the second part of it. And, of course, Trouble with a Heartbreak. But guess what you get in on now? You want to get a little Trouble with a Heartbreak?
We're on it.
Jason's in the studio. We're coming right back. Hang on. Jason Aldean in the studio hanging with us. So are you, Carsen, did you do it?
No, it's in the studio. You want me to go get it?
Yeah, go do
Okay,
it.
well,
Speaking of.
Wait, what?
we have a present for you.
Yeah, we have we know that you're a big Braves guy. You got a Braves hat on now,
Yeah.
right? And Carsen does vintage clothing and stuff, and she is walking behind you to
Oh,
give you
what
this.
is that?
Look, so go. What's the story on this, Carsen?
This I picked up, I rescued, I saved from an estate sale. It's a kid's T-shirt from the '96 World Series, and I know it didn't turn out the way you wanted, but it's got Chipper Jones on it.
Yeah, that's my dude. I was texting with Chip last night, actually.
Yeah,
so.
and you have
Name
the,
dropper.
What?
but I've been holding
No,
on
because
to
I'm trying to figure out. I'm going to be in Atlanta for the opening weekend of the season, and so I was texting him to see about
Well, you should
hooking me up with some tickets.
You
so.
should wear that children's
he's-
shirt.
Yeah, I think this will fit.
Yeah.
Actually, this might fit Memphis, but it's awesome. I love it. I remember this series very well.
Yeah,
so
and
that's awesome.
it's single stitch. It's legit. And the thing is, you hit the trifecta for me because you're a Braves fan. You have an amazing vintage collection, and you had kids.
So yeah.
So I was like, this is the perfect person that it's for.
How do you know about his vintage collection?
I see pictures. Are you kidding?
But how do you know that his shirts, his tees are the actual vintage
Who are you
shirts?
talking to?
Yeah, because I zoom in on the sleeves and make sure it's single stitch. I can sometimes tell by aging.
Yeah, like this
Yeah,
one. This one's got on a Wayland shirt today,
Yeah.
and this
Yeah.
one's not an original.
I was going to say, I can tell by the stitching on
Yeah.
the thing. It's got
Oh,
the
I knew
thick
the reprint.
sleeves.
It's
too
fine,
too
it's fine.
soft, you know.
Yeah.
But
And
I do
Wayland
love.
shirts not easy to come by.
No, I do love vintage T-shirts. though. That's the one thing I do. If there is one thing I like about going to LA, it's that. It's because you can go on Melrose. There's a ton of vintage T-shirt shops, and usually I go down there and try to get some cool stuff, and then I'll wear that for the whole year for the tour, and then
Oh, that's cool.
you know. So
I bet those are cheap. Well, that's cool, Carson.
it depends. You can find some stuff that nobody cares about. You know, like
Oh yeah.
I picked up a great white Mr. Bone tank top last night for $25. Nobody else knows what that is, but I will sell it to a great white fan for $90.
I found a John Anderson T-shirt out there that was like one of the cheapest shirts they had. It was like
Because they
$25.
didn't know who John Anderson was.
There's nobody in LA. Nobody in LA wants a John Anderson shirt, and I was like, "This is the coolest thing I've ever seen." So I bought it and rocked it for a couple years.
Chicken truck. What is this? I put it on cheap.
I would love to wear vintage T-shirts, wouldn't you?
Nah, it
Oh
sounds.
no, it sounds crazy.
great.
Man, back in the 70s and 80s, you know what they didn't have? Fat people. Not like them.
Well,
That's
nice.
true. Every shirt you find from back in those days is like a small,
A
medium.
large,
Nope.
and then it's not even like a current large. It's what we would call a medium today.
Yeah,
You know, like,
dude.
yeah.
You got to get your measures. Got to
Trust
get
me,
your measures.
the struggle's real. I get it.
Well, if you just want to Venmo her for that. Sure. All right, Jason Aldean is with us. We're coming right back, talking more Jason and some music on the way next. Jason Aldean in the studio with us. Second half of the double album, which is called Macon, Georgia. Macon is the first part, and then Georgia is the second part of the album. Comes out April 22nd, and I know you're excited about this, man.
Yeah, it's a project we worked on, and this being my 10th studio album, we wanted to do something a little different that we hadn't done before, and something more than just okay, here's 15 songs, here you go. So we just kind of kept finding songs and just stockpiling them a little bit, and ended up with about 20 songs that we wanted to cut. And so we've never done a greatest hits record or a live record either, so we decided to put at least one live track from each of the previous 9 albums, on to fill it in. So there's 30 songs on the record now. But it worked out cool, man. And it was just something that we wanted to do that was different. And to me, all the influences that I've had over the years and just everything that's kind of gotten me to this point was, all things that kind of came out of my hometown in Macon. So just to kind of throw a little love to my hometown, and it was just a big deal to get to make 10 records.
How often do you get home? Like, let me go back. How often do you get home to actually go visit someone other than family?
Well, never now.
Yeah, that's kind of me too.
Yeah, I never really get home that much anymore. I try to, if I'm lucky, I get home 2 or 3 times a year. But my parents, my sister, everybody has now relocated to Nashville. So, I still have some cousins, aunts and uncles, that kind of stuff down in Georgia. But, most of my immediate family is here now. So I don't really have a reason to go back as much as I used to. But I love going back, man. It's, the last couple of times I've been back, haven't been for good reason. I had to go to a funeral not too long ago down there, and so, but I love going back. It just kind of like, that feeling of, familiar, and just seeing all the things you grew up around, and especially with my life, everything's kind of for the last 17 years or so has been so crazy, and sometimes it's really cool for me to go home and just kind of see all the simplicity of how I grew up.
They have a sign that says "a home of."
No, I have a street named after me in downtown Macon, though.
Okay,
Is it
that's
just
cool.
Jason Street? Is it Jason Aldean Street? Or?
Jason Aldean Way. It runs by the Children's Hospital downtown Macon. Yeah,
Oh, good.
This is the way.
This is the way.
this is the way out of town, I think was what they were telling me.
Jason Aldean, the album comes out April 22nd. The second part of that, it's called Macon, Georgia. If you haven't got the first part, do that. It's called Macon. And, dude, it's good to see you again. Get you back in when the album's out, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you guys for having me.
If you like that, make sure you check out more videos over here.
Yeah, and then you can subscribe right over there on his belly. Click on his belly. He goes, woohoo!